Welcome to Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions on Wolf Spirit Radio, Ever Beyond Radio, and Studio 9 Jam on YouTube. With your host, Jessica Ariel Morocco, featuring JP as the voice of Andronicus. Please visit www.readingsbyrael.com, that's A-R-A-E-L.
From the future, by way of past. I bought my ticket for the 15th century. We started moving through a hole in history.
You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions. Oh, I'm really happy to be here, and, even though it's a little delayed, actually it works out well because I'm a little under the weather today. But anyhow, so we have a really interesting show today, and I have some transmissions from Rhodan, Andronicus, Meetis, Whyman, as well as Borkum. A little message from Borkum. And also just a little quick reminder that we do have the Zoom room open to the public. People want to come in and meet and greet and get to know everyone. That'd be really great. We'd love to meet you. And there will be the link right on the chat room, so just come on in and take a look and then press on the link when it's time for the Zoom room after the show. And we're also, the last part of the show will have Viking on. So we're looking forward to that. And I just want to say hello, JP. How are you? Hello?
That just wasn't long enough to make that tea.
Oh, you were right in the middle of a tea.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. Sorry everybody, but I've been fast asleep, for the last few minutes. Now, I just want to make sure, right, has anyone, why did you restart? Right, so somebody heard the intro twice. I'm here, refresh, try, studio. I've just, alright, so here's the thing.
Poor thing, you sound so tired.
Oh. I don't need some tea. I need my tea first.
You need your tea. Go get your tea, and I'll make believe I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, tell them something. I'm sure you've had quite an adventurous weekend. I keep seeing you in various guises. Oops, sorry.
Because I think, unfortunately, that's the way I really dress. But yeah, often it was a beautiful weekend. Just kind of out and around, but there's definitely some really interesting things coming through, and I ended up spending time writing some information that came through that was very, very interesting, but they didn't have me bring that in for today at all. That wasn't the information that they wanted, so they gave me something else, and maybe that will come at a later time. But it had something to do with one of the extraterrestrial species that are here on the planet and some of the things that they've been doing. But I'm gonna leave that as a cliffhanger, because then you'll have to listen next week to find out what it is. But in all honesty, it was a very, very serious concern, and I probably would like to research it a little better and get a handle on it and understand why this is going on. It seems to be driven by AI, but it's another kind of AI that we haven't really acknowledged yet. And it's not, some of the new stuff, but it's something that was quite old. And a different dynamic, a different purpose, and a different agenda. There was, Aries was involved in that one. So we'll probably get around to that next week. And we're going to be focusing in on Whyman, who came through, and some interesting things that he has to say. I actually had wonderful conversation with him and experiencing some of the things regarding the sacred tree. And also encourage all of you to do a meditation with the sacred tree after you listen to what he has to say, because it was just really beautiful. And there's so much that we can learn. And I try to, just keep things open and allow the information to come through, and as they're watching over us and considering what is the highest and best for us, and many of us are still holding on to the highest potential for humanity. I know that some people are discouraged about the way some of the things have gone, some of the issues regarding the RV. And I'm going to have Viking on and see what he has to say about that later, because I think we need to send a little bit of energy and love to the Agarthans this week. I don't know about you, but I think that they're offering to do a whole lot, and we're just hoping that we can, let them know that we appreciate them, and we do acknowledge that there are other systems involved. And so we want to keep our hearts and minds open and stay very connected to the inner earth. And if you want to call it honeycomb or hollow or whatever, or flat, I don't care. I don't care what you call it. It doesn't really matter, because it's, there are beings there that are here to support us, and not all of them in the hollow earth are here to support us, but I believe the Agarthans are, so I don't think they were there to trick us and to deceive us in any way. So, hey JP, are you back from your tea yet?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
I guess not.
No,
okay.
I'm here. Can you not hear me? Oh,
anyhow.
Yeah, of course, you can't hear me because I wasn't pressed in there. All right. So, there you go. I'm in a bit of a tiz-was. Number one, that I've just woken up in a panic. Oh my God, it's 9:30. Also, we're using a new system. It's finally arrived. You remember I've been talking about, what's the word? Automating the entire radio station.
Oh, yes. Remember that.
So we finally got it. The Holy Grail has been achieved, and it was JC himself who did it. JC meaning John Tudor of Deprogrammed Radio, who's helped me through setting this thing up, which is marvelous. It means that it will, after 2 hours, this show will be it will cut in and now then connect directly to Revolution Radio for 2 hours, and then to Revolution Radio B for 2 hours, and then back to me for 2 hours, and it knows what to do. It's very clever, but unfortunately, I wasn't here on the other end.
So you have been replaced by yourself.
Hopefully, a lot of the function that I've been doing, actually, it's the one function that has always been the most disruptive, which is changing streams. And now the stream will change automatically and smoothly, and people won't be disconnected and stuff like that. So
yeah, or seamless programming, the way that they do it.
Exactly, it's seamless, and it'll sound, the trains all run on time. Let's put it that way.
That's good. You got to keep the train rolling.
So now,
all right. So
I got my headphones on, and we can start our trainee missions, if you like.
Okay. Well, why don't we start with? Now, this one is Rhodan, but Andronicus also appears.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little tricky, but.
Oh, God, it's going to be like Meetis and Dryden again. All right, so there we go.
Hello, Rhodan. Where are you? Is that the Swiss Alps?
Yes, Andronicus and I have been meeting here and discussing what we're seeing.
Is it the present time as I'm writing, or does this take place at an earlier time?
It is the past, present, and future. We see all at all times.
Has something changed, or was it unexpected or unexpected?
It's exactly as I expected until we observed an anomaly that was quite fascinating to us.
What is the change? Did time change by an event, or should I say an object there?
We could handle the object. It was the ones who showed up to challenge our decisions for the outcome. We have decided to shift things into a more agreeable light and beneficial for the advancement of humanity. I was surprised to see how they came, as if they were holding a ring of authority.
Can I ask you who that might be?
It's the Rhodan. They are a programmed species who upgraded their presence to be so bold. Oh, who upgraded their presence to be so bold?
Can you find it?
Oh, quite easily. Let's see. I'll make the time a bit. There it is.
Hi, Andronicus. It's been a while to see you here.
Hello, Suma. We also have Borkum with us. A bunch of old friends gathering. Meetis will join us soon.
Is there an occasion for this? Why would you all meet like this today?
To plan what needs to occur up ahead. We always discuss how to observe these things.
Do you all represent councils when you discuss these things?
We always work as a group. We learned long ago not to make rash emotional decisions as we did in our youth. So many suffered for it in the past. I see you are so full of wonder.
I've never seen something like that. The time portal.
Oh, don't try to jump in like you've done before or we'll lose you again. We know how curious you get.
Okay, Andronicus. I won't this time.
Please stay back. The force draws you in.
And then I found myself awaking from rest, wondering what just happened, and how odd that was.
So is this the same time portal that you had schlepped through in the first place?
I don't know. I've been in a few of them, but I think this one he was worried about. It was really weird. It was not the typical portal that you see here. It was something that they brought with them. More like a device.
Like the Rhodan brought them with them?
No.
Oh,
no.
Right.
Rhodan brought it.
All right. It was one of his bits of tech.
Yeah. And it was just, it had like a really, how can I say it? Kind of a blurry effect, but then it would get really crisp and clear. And so I started to get close to it and I could feel there was force. There was some type of energy.
Like a vortex drawing you in.
Yeah, sort of like a vortex, but not quite. More like a magnetic pull. But anyhow. Yeah, and the Rhodan were programmed, I guess. And that's, by the way, that's the species I was talking about. Not everything's AI driven, but this group I discovered was, and we'll explain that next week. All right.
We'll find out. So the Rhodan.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just. Rigel is, if you look at Orion, Rigel is the bottom right, the knee of the hunter. So that's where Rigel is, over that way. And they're like an AI species or a robotic species, let's say, not rather than artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and not the typical way that we know it. It's something a little bit more refined, older, hidden. We're not familiar with the tech. All right, so
not quite Tectotron.
No, I know. I discovered their planet. I followed them and I discovered their planet.
Oh.
And the center of the core had a queen that was programming them. And it was a weird kind of green moss-looking color, chartreuse color coming out of it, which I thought was odd. And then I saw that the program actually was in some of our plant life, which was strange to me too. But I kind of just followed it.
Sort of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, but as I said, it's very minuscule and old, so it's not highly detectable and it could be interpreted sort of like the Morgellons, where it looks like, I don't know, a little creature. Maybe it has more of that nature to it. That kind of small, they might look like a tiny little bug species or amoeba. But, there was a lot of discussion about it this weekend, but they didn't want me to really write about it. I have notes.
Okay.
So it's not ready to come out yet.
We'll see further down the line what happened with the Rigelians.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just to let everyone know, typically we have problems with the Orion Greys anyhow, and there's a bunch of different species there. But it's getting to the point now where we're like, okay, so which gray group are we talking about? There's that many.
Yeah.
And you have to take a look at it, and there's variations, and then there's hybridizations, and just like the Dracos, people were like, oh, everything's a reptilian. No, the Alpha Draconis are in the Hollow Earth, and they've been there for a long time, and they've then created variations and hybridization of themselves. So it's hard to detect. And then we also discovered that the Nordics, the tall whites, also have a combination of hybridization with I think it's with the Dracos. So they're doing all sorts of experimentation, and it just becomes more complex when dealing with them, because now they have more than one nature.
Yeah, it's we might say, oh, it's the Greys, but they're like a particular direction of Greys. There may be Greys from one side or the other at different stages of. Because the Greys seem to be like a stage of like, what's that word? Like de-evolution of some kind. It's like they didn't quite make the evolution, and it's going kind of backwards.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's what they're doing. And I don't know if I have a picture there somewhere I can send and put it in the chat room of what the Rigelians look like. Probably won't be very happy if I do that, but if you're going to do something, you have to show your face.
All right. So I'm looking for some kind of sound to give Whyman.
Why don't we go to Borkum?
Borkum, good idea. Because we know where Borkum is. All right. So there we go. All right, there you are. Borkum. Hello, Primus. How are you, my friend? Do you see me yet?
I don't think he's been able to see you yet, but maybe your presence is a bit more felt.
He has a narrow gate near him that brings forth sundry dark elves and trolls biding their time and hiding in the ash and scruffy shrubs. I need to send them off, Primus. They are interfering with your path. We want you to meet us in Titania. Don't let them trip you up and bring you to their dens of magic. I tell you, a long time ago, a pesky one got up to my ear when I slept. He spoke the most wicked of stories and asked me to lend him my body. Being of sound mind and virtue, I grabbed him by the nape of the neck and shook him till he let go of his spells. And I spared him, sending him off to the forest to tell the others. That evening I waited for the pesky ones to arrive, and just as I expected, one jumped on my shirt and hung from the string while tangling it around my neck. I thought those little demons were here to do me in, but instead I sent them on their way, this time wrapped in a gunny sack and tied tightly. I thought that might prevent them from getting in my dreams. Hey-ho, what I said. What have you done to cause me sleepless nights? You're not privy to the forest. It is mine to rest and awaken him. So I sent them far away to another planet with the Gobin.
So, is that what you recommend for Primus? Is to get rid of them?
What I'm trying to figure out is how those pesky fellows returned back to this planet to find one of my brothers. This requires strict measures, and moreover, they brought the goblin back with them. I have a plan. Well, off to correct the error. I will return with a solution. Farewell for now. Keep guard, little Simon Bell.
Who is Simon Bell?
He's a good watcher. Trust me. He is crafty and ready for any mischief.
Okay, well, let me know what happens.
And off we go.
Borkum ran towards a tree and then disappeared in thin air. I was surprised as he looked very much like a giant from Tiamat.
Well, it is getting confusing here. Simon Bell.
Simon Bell, that's what he called him. It looked like a little elf.
Oh, the little elfie called Simon Bell.
Yeah. He's going to keep an eye on them. Yeah, I was wondering who he was talking about.
Mm.
It was a little elf or something, or a fairy. Yeah, I don't know why he got into all the fae stuff.
Yeah.
But, maybe that was a problem in reminding us that some of that stuff's still around.
Mm-hmm. And Goblin's back? We don't want them. Yeah.
Well, he sent them, the question is he sent them off into another planet and they still made their way back here and he was a little perplexed. See what he comes up with.
So,
It was funny as Borkum was talking about sleeping.
oh yeah. Maybe that's what I did. The Gobin kept me asleep so that I would miss the first half hour. So, let me grab my tree beard machine. Here we go.
Okay.
Make this adjustment here and press this button. Here.
I see you climbing upon the branches rising up. But why have you stopped?
I'm looking down to see what I can see. It isn't too high that the clouds are covering my view. Why do you watch me? And is it important that I hurry up the tree?
You have come to observe or complete your task here.
I don't know. Can I do both? I don't understand why things are that way, or the way as they are. It seems out of balance and confusing. Why do so many seem confused about their lives right now, as I'm observing? They thought they had what they needed and then discovered that it wasn't enough. So they amassed more and more until they filled their homes and garages with things that they didn't need, in relationships that had no other purpose.
But this is their decision. They choose this experience and this is what they want to do here. It is another experience that you are accustomed to, where people live differently. This is the confusion. Your experience on M12 made you question the paradigm you view today.
I don't want to change anything. I just want to understand. Well, what about the intruders from off-planet? Should they be here ruling and oppressing humanity?
Do you want to change that part?
Yes.
You just told me you don't want to change anything, only observe. But now you have changed your mind.
Is this the part of the reality that was in the original intent? Was this a possibility or an experience intended for this paradigm?
As humanity unfolds, they see beyond themselves into many realms of existence. Inwardly they see their own truth, and when they let go of this, others come in to find gaps of space that humans choose not to step into. Your guides, your leaders were not meant to be here to control others, but to lead the way for others to see for themselves. The intruders come from both known and unknown spaces to humanity. Of course, there is nothing left under the sun that we are not aware of. They are learning as you are learning. But those who are here to change what is meant to be here find themselves stuck and unable to leave. Then they discover that they are incarnated and also without power. In this cause, they choose to experience what humanity experiences. You must climb up the branch for you to see more.
It looks like I'm still on the lower branch, but I could see more now that I climbed higher.
That's correct.
Is this an illusion? Is it possible to climb to the top, and as you rise up, you are in the same place in some way? In this scenario, one never reaches the top?
What is at the top that you need to see when everything you need is here?
And then an angel appeared and blew a mighty wind, and I thought I was falling, but instead it helped me rise. And there below me stood a friend observing all of it. How is it that I've gone up the tree even higher with the wind of the angel?
Alone you struggle and labor to climb the tree. With friends, the task is easier. There, how do you like the view now?
It is a blur. It's hard for me to see clearly through it, but when I look down, it appears to be a never-ending drop. How can this be?
You are not just moving in height, but in time and space. You lift and float now. Your head is less burdened by the density of substance and matter. You can now move beyond the tree.
I don't see anything now besides a clear blue color, like a screen of blank, flat color.
This is how you are interpreting your movement through time. Your eyes know no other way to fill its motion but the inner parts of your eyes. Soft blue light is a safety color that most prefer to experience when flying. We kept the sky at blue, passive tone, and elevates the gasps of breath one experiences when surrounded by red, or the confusion of the color blue. And the color of yellow creates involuntary movement that could hinder one's flight. The orange feels like it is consuming at times. Your rainbow indeed has a purpose. The metal on your jacket does not sustain you when in flight. Remove all metals from you when you climb my tree. It doesn't work well with me.
And does it harm you at all?
Nothing harms me, except for when humans fall.
Then Whyman closed his eyes. Whyman, is the word Y in Whyman actually the letter Y? And you are, in fact, I can't say this word, Yggdrasil tree? Yggdrasil tree. That displays the 9 worlds, in it.
That is me, and much more.
So, it is in fact the old ancient tree known as Yggdrasil, the old tree of life.
Yeah. And if you look at that picture, it's just amazing how they have everything set up, and I think it's fairly accurate.
Which picture?
I mean, the picture that I think Ches has in the chat room.
Oh, let me have a look.
That's really a beautiful picture. And you could just sit there and look at it and study it a bit and see what's there. But it shows, the Bifrost, it shows all sorts of things. And I love it that they kept just these pieces of history and knowledge and passed it down for, not only their own culture, but for the world to be able to kind of gaze upon and look at, because many people are looking at the tree from all different perspectives and teachings. But I do find this very interesting. And now, the locations and the dimensions and all that is clearly not expressed, but it kind of shows the essence of how these things all come together. And so the safety of the tree is crucial because the tree represents, life and how life exists. And, it doesn't look exactly like that I don't know. I mean, it looked like a tree to me. But, maybe it is an expression of a structure that exists in our, we'll call it a matrix, but, the multidimensional and existing planes and parallels that we exist in. So anyhow, we have Meetis next.
And finally, that's my Meetis. Yeah.
You can drink your tea
Yeah.
with Meetis.
Do I need my guitar? I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Come here, Clara. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I had this, I got that new box last week, didn't I? Oh, this is even more. I've got the strap. Hang on, one moment.
Nice.
I have to take off my headphones,
Mm-hmm.
put the strap on the guitar, plug the guitar in, then put the headphones back on. There we go. And then I have to find out. I think it's on. We're on channel 1, aren't we? Yes. Switch on. There we are. Oh, that sounds nice. Good. Right. So, where are we? You remember I told you I got this system where I have one mouse over 5 screens. You try finding your mouse in 5 screens. Alright, okay, sorry.
It's just getting more and more complex, JP.
Everything's getting more. I'm trying to make things simple. You know how it is. You try and make things simple, and they just get more and more fiddly.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Next thing is I'm going to need like a radio transmitter rather than cables and stuff.
I think we need a crew over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not the goblin crew.
No, not that one. Right, where are we? Meetis. Here we go.
Meetis.
Hello, my lovely. When was the last time we spoke? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Or could it be Saturday? The weather was temperate now, wasn't it? Light and airy, full of fairies, whispering floating seeds in the air, a smell of cotton freshly washed and hanging on the wood to dry. I regret to say I got myself in a bit of a skirmish yesterday. The potter, Boyd, claimed I kicked one of his tables over during a festive day in May. I beg to differ.
So what actually happened then, Meetis?
We're not wanted here, Suma. They dislike us more and more each day. I know you are frustrated with me. I know you're a bit upset that I sent you here to help at this time. I know how the other fellow followed you and was very cruel to you. But I dare not say his name. It wouldn't help either of us, my love. You see, the bitter ones hide behind the colour white. I see them, I do. They fool many with their trumpets and swords, but I never obey their will. Why do humans not see that their glow should not be blue? It is an artificial colour, isn't it, for a bird? So there you have it. They've oppressed me as well. It is grievous even in the mentioning of it.
Who watches over this? Don't they have a say? Don't you or I have a say in this?
We can all say what we want, my lovely, but they are rotting on their own. One must let it be and allow the transformation to occur. Your eyes are filled with starlight. You're looking up too often, Suma, and your time is not quite over here. I must warn you, you mustn't exit the gate before it's complete, or you may be sorry.
I'm just looking, Meetis, don't worry. I'm not looking that hard.
Tell me about the prince.
The prince of your kingdom?
You fancy him?
I don't know what I think at this time, Meetis. I'm unsure. There are questions of that society that I can't say whether I like or dislike. It's so much more complex than that.
Well, he can see you, and I find him peering through my looking glass often. Not just of your doings, but of many.
Is he one of us, Meetis? Does he fly or go flat-footed by way of travel?
He junctures in and out. His essence is not fixed but often transmuted into fire, then resets. Fortunately, he means no harm to us.
Do you think this has something to do with the potter?
Undoubtedly, yes.
How long has he been there?
As a matter of fact, I'm not sure. He reminds me a bit of Zamfir, but what would Zamfir be doing here now? Oh, this would be so tiresome to him.
Take another look, Meetis.
Well, my eyes are a bit dull, but his face does seem to change from one to the next. A slight freckle or two. Lighter, I guess. I guess I'll sing and see if he draws near. Getting it on one page. There we go. Right. Right. Potter's Wheel. Oh, interesting. Right. You mind, really? A potter's wheel does turn the seal. And the microphone falls down. Oh, I'll start again. Oh, dear. Oh, God. Now it's come off in my hand. No idea. No idea what's going on. Here we go. There we go.
It was one of those days.
Yeah. And my headphones have come out. Oh, so, hang on.
Let's pull it together, JP.
Like I said, it's all tangled. And there we go.
No, I'm telling you, it's those whatever you call it, those little not elves, the bad ones. No, the bad little.
Oh, little
the
elf.
The dark fairy goblins.
Yeah. Well,
hanging from your neck.
A potter's wheel does turn the seal, and signet signed in wax. A letter spelled return to tell the keeper of the city sack. A potter's paint then crash and boom, I'm never near the table at noon. Yet here am I taking all the blame, and will not agree beyond anything. A tree should say, move now your way, but I will not budge. I will not budge until the break of day. So on your flowers, your singers and charmers, make sure your trinkets are not left by the cabin door. Make sure the trinkets are left by the door, and he'll trouble you no more.
Very nice. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
See,
it worked well.
When I get a new sound, then I get new tunes, you see.
Yeah, we need to put you on stage, JP.
Well, actually, it's very interesting that just before the show started, I got a message from my friend Lorenz, who is a love.
Look at that name.
He's a beautiful man. He's like 6'2", long brown locks, handsome, lovely teeth, big smile, yoga teacher. Anyway, he plays the drums as well. And
One
I've
of the
been
band members.
I've been asked, the August the 26th in the Universal Hall. So the Universal Hall. If anybody's actually ever bothered to look right down, go all the way down to the bottom of Studio 9 Jam, you'll see me and my band playing in this aforementioned Universal Hall. It's a great place. It's in Findhorn. It's a five-walled room, like a pentagon. And everything's in pentagons and triangles, and the roof is fantastic. All this triangular structure. Anyway,
What does it do to the acoustics?
It's fantastic. I mean,
Really?
I could sit here with this guitar in the middle of the room for 300 people. And
it reaches all the corners.
Oh yeah, the acoustics are great.
Yeah.
It's built as an audio chamber, and not only that when they first set the thing up, and they were looking to do the lighting on June the 21st, they put a massive crystal right at the top. At the top of the building is like a five-sided window, like a five-sided pyramid of glass, right at the top.
Wow.
And they stuck a crystal right in there. And you know what they did? It was brilliant. When the light comes in, the crystal refracted the sun.
Oh, wow.
And
that's beautiful.
And then that reflected lights onto the ceiling. And then they marked those lights, what colors they were, and installed electric lights of that color. And that's the lighting system.
Oh, that's very cool.
Isn't it? So I've run the lighting system, all right, so I do sound, so people say, oh, you can do sound, can you do lights? Oh yeah, all right. It's not exactly the same, and sometimes it involves climbing up high things when I can't do that. They got these great big towers that you have to climb up to change the lights. No, I just fiddle with it. But it's fabulous to be able to you can make the room any color, and you put moods in, you can have a mood wash, or you can have spot colors. It's fantastic. I love doing that. It's been a long time since I've done that, but I've done sound and light in the Universal Hall. So it's a really great venue because it's like built-in PA and all that stuff.
Oh, it makes me want to make believe I can sing.
Well, I'll be. So I've been invited to. I see. David Hammond just bailed out, and we miss a capable guitar player. All right. Yeah, well, I know most of these songs. All right, so that should be fun. Bit of Rolling Stones, bit of The Who. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, all the great
classics.
classics.
I'm going to say it sounds
Don't go away.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to definitely need to have my my station in in automation there. What day is August the 26th? God, that's not that far, is it? June 26th?
No, it isn't. You need to get it all straightened out by then.
Yeah, August 26th. That's a Saturday night. Oh, yeah. All right. U-Haul with Lawrence. There we go. Let's book that in because I'm bloody doing that. I really am. Because I was
and
bemoaning.
someone should videotape it so we can see you on YouTube.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, even if it's just I'll set up my camera at the back of the hall. We'll get something down there. And if you go down and look at that video at the bottom of Studio 9 Jam, you have to go through all the pages of all of the videos there. You'll see, F Jams live at the Universal Hall. And I'm that bald bloke in white.
No, stop it.
So, no, really, I am the bald. I was completely head shaved, and I'm wearing white. So, swaying around in my usual kind of nonchalant, completely nothing to do with the beat. I notice it. I look at these videos of me playing, and I'm like, I'm swaying, but just to my own. Nothing to do with the beat, just to my own. So
dancing to your own sound, huh?
Yeah, I'm in my own frequency.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
So, there was Meetis.
We're gonna bring in Viking, but I wanted to play. I found Eddie Vedder and David Bowie combo. Ah. And what's the name of this?
Is it Not Comfortably Numb?
Yes. That's it. And then we'll bring in Viking.
Mm-hmm. Now, Comfortably Numb is actually in exactly the same key as I just played. So that first note should be, let's see.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're back, and we have Viking here with us. Hello, Viking. How are you?
Hello, Jessica. I'm doing well. I got my voice back, which I'm really excited about. It's
Yay.
been months, and it's got nice, deep resonance. I really like my new voice.
We'll get you doing a few. We should get him doing some Leonard Cohen songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you, if you want to say this, if you want a lover, I'll do anything you ask me to.
So I can empathize with your lethargy here. I've been extremely tired myself in the middle of the day. I mean, I could sleep and wake up. I have no set pattern of sleeping. It's just so erratic right now.
Viking, as you sent me the other day, mate, you sent me the solar observatory readouts, which I follow as well. And Friday, no, it wasn't Friday. It was Saturday. It was afternoon. Saturday afternoon your time. Did you guys get wiped out? Because there was one heck of a flare. It was a gamma burst, and I felt it, and I'm sure you all felt it.
Yep.
It was intense.
Well, I think Shiva I was communicating with Shiva around that time, and I think he's, when he sends something, he sends it.
Well, they've been talking about this period, this 26th to 29th for a couple of months now as being a major, time of awakening. What I'm seeing is that this is actually, creating the timeline split. We are starting to engage. We have engaged in the timeline split, which is you're either going to be on this side or that side of the crevice here. We are starting to enter into 4D pretty heavily right now, and there are those who are just going to hang out in 3D and party until it's all over. I mean, it's going to be a definite decision that we all have to make.
I saw a crevice. I just saw, the earth, and there was just something kind of breaking down the center. I don't know if that's what they were talking about. I was trying to figure it out as I watched it. I saw that over the weekend.
It's definitely an energetic split. The way I saw it was a parting of the Red Sea, where there's definitely going to be a parting. And, and people are going to be asked in different forms of challenges and as they start to look in the mirror and start to look into their soul and look into their heart space, which direction do they want to go? Do you want to stay in this, 3D series of illusion of pain and suffering and subjugation, or do you want to wake up to your love and passion and artistry and mastery of life? This is really the choices at hand here. I mean, it's pretty blatantly simple.
I thought I put out a little prayer today for the Agarthans, and I thought Conrad would be here with us. But I think having a positive attitude and gratitude for the Agarthans, and they're making an effort to help us. Still holding on to the things that we know are supposed to open up. But with that, continuing to do what we need to do on a personal level to keep us in that higher vibration and rise up on our own. It's like climbing Whyman, the tree of life. It was just amazing when I got to have that experience, and I encourage everyone to do that. Is to kind of go through the different levels of experiences and understanding, and in each time you grow, you get a little closer, and might not be in a perspective that you anticipated, but that's the magic of it. That's the beauty of it. You never know how it's going to be, and it's always a different adventure. So embrace it, and do the inner work. Spend time in meditation. Spend time seeing and being connected to your higher self. and make those little adjustments and changes. Life will go easier. You'll seem to flow more with the waves and the frequencies that are coming in and not feel so disrupted by them.
You know, it's interesting. You were saying earlier in your show about faith and having a positive attitude and really moving with this momentum. This is really crucial and key, you know, because it's gonna what determines the manifestation of our future. You know, our future is being determined with each breath that we take, and with every move that we make. It's going to create a momentum, and the more and more we start to align with the commonality or unity of prosperity, of love, of magic, of adventure, of this beautiful utopia that we can all envision and partake in. Because you have to remember, we all have a special role to play. We all have certain gifts and certain artistry. We all have a special reflection of life that we can offer. You know, and we've been here now. We signed contracts. We've been out here now for 10,000 years to perfect this self-mastery. And now's the time. Now's the time to really shine and to move in this grace, this actual, you know, this bliss of eternal love. But it is a momentum from within. You know, we have to really find this and find the conviction and find the trust and find the faith.
I agree, and not worry about it. Like I said, you know, kind of really just open up your heart and also lend a hand to those that are, you know, trying to figure out their way. You know, help them get through those little bumps and challenges to bring them to that place where they need to be. And not that they need to be there, but sometimes they need some assistance. And I'm going to go back to Whyman again, where he said, when that angel kind of sent this wind to me and helped me to lift and rise up. And it was more of an example of how that we can get so much from others helping us.
Well, what's interesting here and what I've been noticing is that there's no new information. You know, everything's been laid out. Everything's been put before us. Everything's been expounded upon from every direction and every angle and every spectral analysis possible. I mean, we you know, it's pretty much all the information's there. But what's clear here is that as we start to, it's like being at the top of a water slide. You know, we have to commit to the journey. We don't know exactly how it's going to end up or what's going to happen, but it's a rush. But what is clear, what's becoming clear to me through a lot of this information and visions that I've been seeing, is that it's going to be a weaning process. We are so engulfed in this 3D paradigm, the so-called holographic reality that we have superimposed on this planet and just interlinking with thousands of timelines. As we start to disassociate, there's going to be a period of literally where it's going to be a withdrawal. I mean, I've gone in and out of certain timelines where I feel like I started to panic. You know, where what we're so used to is no longer there, and then you kind of left out, you know, just been left out into the wind. But I find the answer is to find your anchor within at that moment, to really anchor into your passion and to your artistry and to your trust, because this is a letting go. It's absolutely a surrender. It's absolutely going to be a transition here, and there's going to be a little bit of a period of time in between in this next 4D reality of transmutation. We have to start to learn new rules of engagement, because people will start to panic and freak out. They're going to lose it because they're so used to, you know, turning on their computer and their cell phone. And my cell phone was down for a month. My daughter made me turn it back on, and I did not want to have my cell phone. But that's because kind of people's livelihoods depend on these electronics and the media and shopping in Safeway and just, I mean, they're so dependent that in order to really start to look into this 4 and 5D is going to be almost going to put people in a state of a catatonic unrest. So this is what I'm starting to see in this transitional period is that what are you going to be grabbing onto? What are you going to be holding onto as your passion that's going to get you through? What is going to be your new rules of engagement here, your tools of engagement, your meditation, your expression of life, because it literally is going to be that dramatic.
And we have a lot of different transitions, and as these transitions take place in the planet, just try to go with the flow and not create any levels of resistance to it. And you'll find that your body agrees with that, and you find that the moods or whatever that are shifting that people are being challenged with, you won't be as affected by. So, just try to open up to whatever is necessary to get you there. But, in all things, keep it in a place of harmony as much as possible. And I know that that's a real challenge for people in this day and age. We have a lot of responsibilities, and there's a lot of uncertainty. And if you get caught up in the news, then of course that becomes an issue. And we don't want to be there. We want to be away from that. The best way that you can find peace is going from within. And, find a natural place, ground, get close to the earth, feel the weather, even in the rain, if you go out and just sort of enjoy that experience. The snow, people go out in all different types of temperatures and weather. And, it's a natural thing. And, if you dress appropriately, you'll be amazed how beautiful it is in its own way. A lot of people don't like the rain. I don't think the rain's so bad. I think it's a way for the earth to drink and to be replenished. So I embrace it. I don't, wish that it's sunny every single day. I think it's good. It cleanses the air. And, we're going to keep one of these days, we'll get rid of all those chemtrails and the air will be much nicer. Everything will be nicer. So I really feel strongly to welcome in a lot of the energy of the Garthans and maybe even the Telosians to help us. They're here with us, and they're affected by our weather. And so maybe they can help keep things clear. I know that there are certain species that have helped on different occasions, like the Solipsi Ray and the Procyon have been here to help and to adjust in some of the anomalies that we have from radiation and chemtrails, and they have certain types of technology to somewhat neutralize. So, if we're fortunate enough to connect with them, then that we could just keep bringing them in, and then also help them to provide insight to our scientists to be able to keep working and create technology, not for the whole sake of creating technology, but to keep the earth clean and clear.
Yeah, I find one of the tools that I use is really trying to, as I said, you can't necessarily anticipate what's going to happen as far as people being able to remote view it or see it, because it's going to be so different and so polarizing, and as the timelines start to collapse into a singularity, and as we start to unify, it's beyond our perception, because we're still thinking and trying to figure it out in 3D. And I've said this many, many, many times. Can't really figure out what's happening here.
No.
Because every thought that we are thinking is 3D contrived. And so what I find is that it's best just to prepare yourself by creating your own singularity, by really becoming Zen, becoming kind of monkish here, where, simplify your life and practice non-involvement, non-attachment. Not that you can't listen to the news, just be zero or be neutral about it, because it's being sucked in and having an opinion is what's going to keep you in this 3D reality. And really, we have to really start to free ourselves, because in freeing ourselves, is how we will detach and have a smooth transition.
Can I add something?
Yes, please.
I went out earlier and I was just looking at the fire that I'd made. You know, burning some cardboard boxes and looking at the sun and I noticed that I was noticing that I've got a very much stronger inner dialogue these days, and that there's more space for me to have that dialogue. I've been able, and really, I think what you're both getting at is you need to find a place where there's silence, where you don't have to chatter, where you can be and feel instead of having to think. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
A place where you can be, where you're able to listen to the silence. This is something I always have been talking about. We all need a place where we can listen to the silence.
Yeah. And well, you know, there's something, I even like the birds in the background, which is really nice. But there's just...
When I say silence, it's like, no, it's the opposite of clamor, not necessarily the absence of sound.
And it's really a state of mind. It's kind of not being full with worry thoughts. The thoughts are more of open and clear and allowing the communication to come through. So I agree. That's a great way to review it.
Being present, I think. I find that I'm a lot more present than I ever used to be. After all the processes that you go through, that's what it's about. You get to the point when you can actually be present in the moment, hear what's going on all around you, and be able to not panic. I think basically that's it. I have to go through life without panicking on the inside, and actually like, yeah, I actually quite like this, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, I visualize it when I do my meditation, which is not as often as I should, but I find that when I focus on, like, I'll see my mind having its thought process, and then I'll sort of shut that down and find the place between the thoughts, because you'll notice you kind of one thought process after another, but if you slow that down and remove yourself to where you're watching the thought process, and then you can actually stop the thought process to find yourself between the thought process. That's where I find that I really fall in this non-time essence where everything kind of shifts reality.
Dancing between the raindrops.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it all starts. That's really the place where you need to be. And it gets to a level of trust each and every day, doing that, calming the mind and helping yourself to even, accessing healing within, emotional healing, physical healing. Just allow it to go through all of your cells, your muscles, your vertebrae, your skeletal structure, through your brain. I mean, if you're having trouble remembering, a lot of it's due to stress. You get rid of stress, a lot of the information will start to flow. The blood will flow more easily, and it's just a wonderful practice. The whole thing about breathing is huge. It's highly underestimated, but it is the core piece that we need to be practicing each and every day. So it's beautiful. I just wanted to remind everyone that we're having a Zoom room right after the show, and that's within about 3 minutes or so. Is that right, JP?
It's about 5.
About 5 minutes.
I just want to end here with my own self-care, is that when you're doing the meditation, it's not just sitting, because you can be meditating. Anything that takes you out of that thought flow and into your own aspirations, or your inspiration, your passion, like an artist or, painting on a canvas or Einstein chalking on a chalkboard. They're all they're non-time, completely in their own expression, and they're locked into their vision. So it can happen. It can happen while you're in the garden. It can happen when you're knitting or cooking or raising a child. Meditation is just quieting the mind, as Jessica and Jay particular, being able to really still the breath. That zone, as JP adopted. That zone. He's beginning JP.
Yeah, it's going in and out a bit.
What happened?
The parkour where you're running across the.
Holy Lord!
You said that when you're running across a rooftop with momentum.
Parkour.
Yeah.
Parkour, yes. Forward motion. Maintaining the forward motion.
You're in the zone. You're not thinking about anything, and that's all I wanted to say is that you had nailed it when you said that one time.
Yeah. So it's like being like the honey badger. You ever seen that honey badger? Go to YouTube.
No.
Go to YouTube. You know me and my funny animal memes, right? Check out the honey badger, right? Honey badger don't give a damn. Just go and watch it, because it's brilliantly narrated as well as being filmed, but of this creature that really does not give. I'm not going to say what they say exactly, but he doesn't give a damn. Let's put it like that. Fabulous. Just keeps maintaining the forward motion. That's what we need to do. Because what is it? You might be going through hell, but you don't have to stay there.
Right. Yeah. Kind of let it. I always tell people you don't have to hold on to this stuff or bury it. A lot of people want to bury it, and you want to just release it and give it to the universe, because they have a better way of transmuting it than you do. And because otherwise it goes into your cells and makes you sick, and you don't want any of that. So you want to just release all of it. So it's wonderful. Yeah. And
also, there's no end game here. You're climbing this tree or Mount Everest, as I said. Make it to base camp one big coalition at every base camp. The trick is to be climbing the mountain and just to be ascending in that tree. There's no end game, but there is the challenge of momentum here.
Okay. So, if anyone's interested in joining in the chat room, we do have, joining in the Zoom room, we do have the chat room number the number in the chat room. And I want to thank you, Viking, for being here. It was awesome that you came in last minute and, joined us and shared some insights. And JP, I'm glad you had your tea, and it's a good way to start the day.
Yes, I actually, because it's the holiday, and everybody's kind of on holiday, I'm going to be playing a repeat. It's going to take a little bit of concentration, but I'll be able to drop in and out of the chat of the Zoom room, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Unusually for me. So watch out, I'll be there.
Meet and greet, JP.
Meet and greet, there we go.
I hope you can come too as well, Viking.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Till next week. Same time, same bat channel.
We came from the future.